some humans possess special powers and are known as the Others, coexisting with humanity since the beginning. They are part of the eternal war between light and dark. Light Others protect mankind, while dark Others follow their own path. Long ago, when both sides faced off on a bridge, Gesser, Lord of Light, and Zavulon, Lord of Darkness, saw their forces were evenly matched. To prevent mutual destruction, Gesser called a truce. From then on, no other could be forced to choose light or dark. It had to be a free, binding choice. The light formed the Night Watch to monitor the dark, while the dark formed the Day Watch to monitor the light, preserving the balance. But prophecy speaks of a powerful other whose choice will tip the scales forever. Moscow, spring 1992. Devastated over his ex-wife, now expecting a child with another man, Anton Gorodetsky turns to a dark witch for help, asking her to eliminate the unborn baby in hopes of winning his ex back. He accepts full responsibility for the act, but just as the witch begins the ritual, agents of the Night Watch intervene. When they realize Anton can see them operating from within the gloom, they recognize he must be an other, a seer, capable of entering the gloom and glimpsing the future. Moscow, summer 2004. 12-year-old Yegor suddenly suffers a nosebleed and is overwhelmed by a psychic call he can't resist. Anton, now working for the Night Watch, is alerted that a dark other, probably a vampire, is after the boy. Although aligned with the light, Anton treads a delicate path between both sides and must consume pig's blood to detect the call. He obtains it from a slaughterhouse with help from his vampire neighbor, Kostya. Drunk from the blood, Anton stumbles through the metro but eventually finds Yegor. Along the way, he spots a mysterious blonde woman whose hair whirls unnaturally, something he doesn't yet understand. Yegor is lured to an old barbershop where vampires Andrei and Larissa wait to feed. Anton intervenes, and just as Andrei attacks, Night Watch agents Bear, Tiger Cub, and Simeon arrive and destroy Andrei with UV lights. Severely wounded, Anton is taken to Gesser, secretly Lord Gesser, head of light. Gesser heals him and mind links to see Anton's memory of the Vortex girl. He recognizes her as the Virgin. The ancient prophecy is unfolding, and the final battle is near. Meanwhile, Zabulon, furious over Andrei's death, sends Dark Witch Elisa Donica to find Larissa, who's roaming the streets in fear and desperate for blood. Elisa is ordered to tempt her and get her to call Yegor again, using him as bait to draw in Anton. At Gesser's office, Anton senses Yegor's call but is too wounded to move. Despite this, he insists on going after the boy, so Gesser assigns him a partner, Olga the Owl, though Anton is unimpressed. Gesser, focused on the greater good over individual lives, then calls an emergency meeting of the Light Others. A storm is forming near Moscow, and they identify the Virgin as Svetlana Nazarova, a doctor whose presence seems to bring misfortune. Her mother is gravely ill, a child fell sick after her visit, and a neighbor needed an ambulance. Gesser believes she's cursed and orders the team to trace everyone she's contacted in the last 3 days. Finding the source may be the only way to stop the prophecy and the final battle. That night, Olga the Owl flies through Anton's window. Once a light mage, Olga was punished by the Inquisition for a past misdeed and imprisoned in owl form. Gesser created the Vortex as a way to free her, giving her a chance at redemption by partnering with Anton. Olga, a curse specialist, shapeshifts back into her messy human form, while Anton, embarrassed, heads to his neighbor Kostya to borrow clothes for her. Kostya gives him his mother's old clothes, but is furious when a dark other is killed. All darks feel it. He also resents the imbalance. The Night Watch can issue licenses to darks, like the one that let Andrei turn Larissa, but not the other way around. Meanwhile, Yegor watches Buffy the Vampire Slayer as his mother struggles to find a babysitter. With no luck, she decides he's old enough to stay home alone. Yegor tries to tell her he's seen real vampires, but she doesn't believe him. As she drives off, Larissa appears outside the building, waiting for a way to be invited in. Meanwhile, the ominous vortex of crows over Moscow grows stronger. A crow strikes a plane headed to Vatutinki, causing a rivet to fall from the sky and land directly in Svetlana's cup of Nescafe through a ventilation shaft, an eerie sign of the curse intensifying. At Yegor's apartment, he sharpens his stake and hears something in the hallway. Peering through the peephole, he sees Larissa waiting outside. At the same time, Anton and Olga rush to reach him, forced to climb 7 flights of stairs when the elevator fails. Instead of ringing the bell, they enter the apartment through the gloom, where others can pass through matter.
Yegor, revealed to be an untrained other, sees them but can only stay in the gloom for 10 seconds before it starts consuming him. Anton begins to freeze too, so Olga urges him to feed the gloom with blood. Anton cuts his arm, and the sacrifice pulls all 3 out. Once recovered, Anton and Olga explain to Yegor that he's an other and must choose between light and dark. Then, Anton spots a photo of Yegor and his mother, and realizes Irina, his ex-wife, is Yegor's mother. Yegor may be his son. The storm vortex over Moscow intensifies. Zavulin, still playing his computer game, is told the vortex is nearly open, but Anton remains with Yegor. Confident, Zavulin says to wait, everything is unfolding as planned. Meanwhile, the damaged airplane is denied landing clearance and continues circling above Svetlana's building, directly beneath the vortex of crows. Gesser contacts Anton, saying Nightwatch's new ground zero is now Svetlana's building. He sends Bear and Tiger Cub to guard Yegor while ordering Anton and Olga to handle Svetlana. Anton promises Yegor he'll return and protect him. At Svetlana's apartment, her neighbor Auntie Valia has just died. Svetlana, sensing she's cursed, takes responsibility for notifying Valia's son, an act Zavulin had orchestrated. Valia's son, distracted by the news while at work in a power plant, causes a meltdown that plunges Moscow into darkness. When Anton arrives, the Nightwatch hasn't found who cursed Svetlana. While checking her file, Anton looks up his own and discovers that Dark Witch Darya lied. Irina's baby was his. Worse, the Nightwatch has flagged him as capable of killing, a violation of light principles. He also realizes Gesser and Zavulin are secretly cooperating to dismantle the vortex. Gesser forces Zavulin to give Anton a protective necklace, then orders him to find and lift Svetlana's curse, or kill her if he fails. Anton gains access to Svetlana by pretending to be a patient with an ulcer. After examining him, she sees nothing wrong and demands he leave. He stays and insists she's cursed. Though skeptical, she breaks down and confesses she once wished her mother dead to live a normal life. That wish became a self-inflicted curse. As soon as she admits it, the curse lifts, the lights of Moscow return, and the plane lands safely. But the danger isn't over. With Nightwatch focused on Svetlana, Larissa climbs to the roof of Yegor's building and calls to him. Distracting Bear and Tiger Cub, Yegor escapes up the fire escape. Larissa seizes him and demands Anton be brought to her or she'll bite the boy. Anton arrives and is forced to discard his protective necklace. Larissa begs to be restored to human form, but it's impossible. She accuses the Nightwatch of hypocrisy, granting Andrei a license to turn her for love, then killing him. She asks why she can drink from Yegor too. The answer, Yegor is the great other. His choice between light or dark will determine the fate of the world. In the climax, it's revealed that Zavulin has orchestrated everything from the beginning. He appears on the rooftop just as events reach their peak. Larissa is momentarily distracted, allowing Anton to free Yegor and urge him to run. Anton then faces Zavulin in battle, armed only with a UV tube, while Zavulin draws a massive sword from his own spine. But Zavulin doesn't want to kill Anton. His true aim is to push Yegor towards choosing the dark. When Yegor tries to throw Anton the protective necklace, Anton lunges at Zavulin with a knife. Zavulin instantly swaps places with Yegor, making it appear that Anton is about to stab the boy. Zavulin halts the blade, but the damage is done. Terrified, Yegor asks if Anton truly intended to kill him. Anton assures him he never would. But then Elisa arrives and reads a record of Anton's agreement to abhor his unborn child 12 years ago. Zavulin plays his final card. Crushed by the truth, Yegor calls Anton a liar, worse than the dark, and feeling betrayed, takes Zavulin's hand and vanishes into the night, leaving Anton shattered. And so it happened. The great other chose the dark. Legend says he will bring eternal darkness. But as long as even one person believes in the light, hope remains. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.